Welcome back to the Mix with Overtime Sports Picks. It's Monday, June 26th, and we're here to recap that action on what we made happen last night. We put down 6 plays and we picked up 4 of those. We did miss 2, but we'll talk about it, man. We got 6 games on the board today. We're going to dive deep and talk about each one of those games. If you're new to this channel, go ahead and subscribe so you get this content before these games start. We're here to do our due diligence to our pockets and to our people. That's what we do. Hey, some people are in for the quick run. Some people are in for the long haul. Whatever your scheme, we're not here to sell a dream. We make money on sports. We do our homework, and that's how we run it. So let's talk about these games, and let's go. The first 3 games out of 6 that we cashed down on was the Royals versus Rays -1.5 with the Rays. The Athletics versus the Blue Jays. We took the Blue Jays -1.5. That cashes out. And the third one was the Pirates versus the Marlins, and we took the Marlins money line. Those 3 cash out first and foremost. The next 3 games out of 6 on the schedule, we did miss 2 of those, which was the Padres versus the Nationals. We took the Padres -1.5. We stated they were very up and down. They scored 10 runs, then 1 run, then 10 runs, then 1 run. They had no runs prior to the game that they played last night, and they didn't score barely any runs. They scored 3 compared to 8, so they lost that game by 5, and we lost that bet. The next bet we lost was the Angels versus the Rockies. We took the Angels, who were the better team with the better record, and they just didn't cash out. Short, simple, and sweet. And the third one that we did cash out on, that I cashed out on, was -13.5. I got that number the night prior. By the time game started, it was at 11.5. So some of you guys didn't cash out on that play, but some of you guys might have took the over as well. But I did put those notes up in my video when I placed that video up. So under 13.5 was our 4th play out of 6 that we cashed out on for the day. So let's talk about the 6 games on the schedule for Monday, and let's dive in. All right, let's play ball. First game of the night, we got the White Sox versus the Angels. The Angels are 42-37. They're 3rd in the AL West, right behind the Astros and the Rangers, while the White Sox hold a record of 34-40. They're 4th in the AL Central. Both teams are 4-6 out of their last 10 games, pretty even across the board there. The White Sox away record is 14-25, while the Angels home record is 20-16. Angels lost twice to the Rockies, though, in a 3-game series, and all those games were away. The game is in Anaheim. The White Sox beat the Rangers 1 out of 2 games, and they went with the Red Sox 2 out of 3 games in a series. So, they beat them 2 out of 3 games in that series. So the White Sox aren't a pushover team, but my prediction, I think the Angels are a better team, and we're going to take the Angels money line. All right, next game of the night is going to be the Cincinnati Reds at the Baltimore Orioles. The Reds hold a record of 41-37. They're 1st in the NL Central. The Orioles hold a record of 47-29. They're 2nd in the AL East, right behind the Rays, who have 53 wins. Some stats on these games, man. The Orioles beat the Mariners twice out of 3 games in their series. They also beat the Rays 1 out of those 2 games recently. All 3 of these games that we'll be playing in this series will be at home, versus the Orioles. And their home record is 24-14, and their away record is 23-15. The Reds, their away record is 20-17, and their home record is 21-20. The Reds were smoking hot recently. They just had their 11-game win streak snapped, but they only had that snapped by 1 run. They've scored 23 runs in the last 3 games with the Braves. You know what I mean? And the Orioles have scored 25 runs in the last 8 games. Therefore, my prediction for this game is going to be the Reds money line. Third game on the schedule is going to be the Milwaukee Brewers versus the New York Mets. The Brewers hold a record of 40-37. They're 2nd in the NL Central behind the Reds. Their away record, which they'll be playing away tonight, is 18-19. The Mets hold a record of 35-42. They're one of the more disappointing teams this year with all their talent. They're 4th in the NL East behind the Phillies, Marlins, and Braves, and their home record is 17-15. Some stats on these games. The Brewers won 2 of their 3 games in the series versus Cleveland. The Brewers are 6-4 out of their last 10. The Mets have a good team, but are really disappointing, as I stated. They got 2 pitchers that are holding them up, and if those pitchers aren't doing their thing, then they're pretty much not winning the game. 10. My prediction for this game, man, is just going to be, I think the Brewers are stronger. I didn't think they were a pushover team to begin with. They finally got over 40 wins, or they just hit that 40 mark, and I'm going to take them tonight, man. Brewers money line. 4th game on the schedule is going to be the Minnesota Twins versus the Atlanta Braves. The Twins are 1st in the AL Central. They hold a record of 40-39, while the Braves are 1st in the NL East. They hold a record of 15-27. The game is in Atlanta. Atlanta has a home record of 24-15 this year, while the Twins have an away record of 17-20. So it's under 500, but those are the statistics. The Braves are 9-1 out of their last 10 games. The Twins are 5-5 out of their last 10 games. The Twins went back and forth with the Tigers in Boston recently. We all saw the series with the Red Hot Reds that the Atlanta Braves took 2 out of 3 of. The Braves played the last 3 games in Cincinnati, and they're really looking forward to come back home, man. I think they're the better team. My prediction is going to be Atlanta -1.5. Fifth game on the schedule is going to be the Tigers versus the Rangers. The Tigers are third in the AL Central. They hold a record of 33-43 behind the Guardians and White Sox. The Rangers are first in the AL West. Their record is 47-30. The Tigers are 6-4 out of their last 10, while the Rangers sit at 5-5 out of their last 10. However, the game is in Texas. This is the big one that I'm looking at. Texas home record. The Rangers home record is 24-13 this year, while the Tigers' away record is 15-22. The Rangers almost beat the Blue Jays 3 out of 3 games in their last series. They only lost 1 game by 1 run. And the Tigers, man, the Tigers lose 2 out of 3 to Minnesota and also lost to Kansas City recently. So my prediction is going to be short, simple, and sweet. My prediction is going to be the Texas Rangers -1.5. All right, fellas, that's going to conclude our session here at Overtime Sports Picks for today. We got 6 total games going down. We got 5 plays on the board. Win or lose, one thing we don't do, we don't snooze. We do our due diligence and we do our homework. If you're new to this channel, go ahead and subscribe. We're really looking forward to the NFL season, but we're going to ride the MLB out real strong. So have fun, bet smart, and let's get it, man. Let's go.